I'm here to discuss research methodology content in the sixth semester BSc Biotechnology. So research methodology is a systematic approach to collect and evaluate data in the research process. What it means basically. So what we will have to understand in this particular slides, where I'm going to introduce research and introduction. What is a thesis? What is dissertation? Why to do research? Categories of research, research methods and methodology, procedural steps in research, ethics in research, etc. Introduction. What is a research? It is a scientific and systematic approach for finding the truth with sufficient facts and figures in support to prove it. A systematic approach includes various ways to go about doing the research, also known as research methodologies. Additionally, research includes observing and recording events that occur in the process of completing the research, analyzing those events, and making conclusion based on the information acquired. What do we do in research? Basic things we do in research are investigation, observation, comparison, and experiments. Investigation is the action of investigation, something formal or systematic examination or research. That's what is the investigation. Observation, basically to understand or observe the things or the phenomena what are occurring in an investigation procedure or an experiment procedure. Comparison, when we do basically whatever is been found out during observation are to be compared with various known facts, known data, or known information. Experimentations are some of the procedure or the steps which are being required during the process of investigation or finding out things. During the process of comparison, we do carry out certain kind of experiments. Talking about thesis, it is a document by which it has been documented or recorded all the facts or figures which are being found out during the process of entire course of investigation or research. Basically defining a thesis is a long essay or dissertation involving personal research written by a candidate for a university degree. Basically the PhD degrees. A dissertation again is a kind of document which contain all the information that are found during the course of research. It is again defined as the same as thesis, a long essay on a particular subject, especially one written for a university degree or diploma. Categories of research. So, Classification of research can be done in various ways. There are a number of classification and number of terms which are being used to the categories of research. So basically it can be classified into these: empirical and theoretical research, basic and applied research, under which number of other categories may be included. Empirical research is defined as any research where conclusion of the study is strictly drawn from concretely empirical evidence and therefore verifiable evidence. This empirical evidence can be gathered using quantitative research and qualitative research methods. Theoretical is a plausible or scientifically acceptable general principle of or body of principles which provides theory of certain facts or phenomena. Basic research, which is also known as pure research or fundamental research, has the scientific aim to improve scientific theories for improved understanding or prediction of natural or other phenomena. Basically, basic research is done for search of knowledge, or it generates knowledge. Applied research is a methodology used to solve a specific practical issues affecting an individual or group. This scientific method of study and research is used in business, medicine, and education in order to find solutions that may improve health, solve scientific problems, and develop new technology. Applied research basically is a problem-oriented, and when we go investigation, observe the things and try to do experiment which leads or directed towards a purposeful end with an application or a product. Research methods generally fall into three categories. Collection of data. So how do we collect data? There are various methods of collection of data. Collection of data by the help of questionnaire. Collection of data or information by the help of experiments. Collection of data by literature search. Collection of data by talking to an individual or a group of population. So this is the basic step where we do collect data. Establishment of the data. So when we had a number of data or input data, now from this data, what exactly we want to find out? We need to apply certain statistical methods. So application of statistical methods help us to establish data or find out what these data reveals. Methods evaluation of the accuracy of the result obtained. Now, while revealing this data, we come to know about certain information of the facts. Now, what is the accuracy of this data or information which has been generated from the data which have been collected and statistically established or statistically analyzed? Now, the result of this data are to be evaluated. There are various methods for evaluating these data, and these are basically the test of the hypothesis. Steps in research. What do we do to carry out a research? What are the basic steps in research? So generally, first of all, we identify a problem. We, we, we try to understand a problem. So we identify a problem. For example, so what are the bacteria which resides in soil? We want to know about this. This is the problem. Or say, what is the organism which causes crown gall in plants? Which is the organism that causes tuberculosis in human being? So these are some of the problems. Now, we identify a problem, then we do try to search, is there any kind of work which are been already in progress or already is done in worldwide. So we carry out literature search or review. So finding out all these things, finding out the works which are being done, we plan research design, where we do try to find out the questions which are being unsolved, and then we plan the design, plan the research design, or we plan or we design the research work which is to be conducted to solve the identified problem. Now, determination of the sample size. How many of the samples are to be observed is been determined. What will be the population size and what will be the sample size are to be determined. Right protocol. That means we carry out to write the methods for the particularly for solving the identified problem. So in many concern, there are number of time we require certain ethical clearance. Say for example, if we want to carry out experiments in humans, experiments in different animals, we do require to clear the ethical committee. Is that we are supposed not to harm animals, not to harm the human beings, or not to harm any living organism. So we do require ethical committee approval. Then we conduct experiments. We conduct experiments as per the protocol which are being designed for the research. Or if it's a kind of survey research, then we go for surveys by the help of questionnaires, etc. So from these experiments and the surveys, we do find out different data. Then we collect this data. The data are being analyzed to get a result. And we already has defined some hypothesis. Say, for example, say a kind of disease is being caused by an organism which is resistant, which is a kind of resistant variety. The hypothesis is that say following molecule is responsible for the destruction or inhibition of a kind of inhibition of the organism or the pathogen. So while we find out those data or find out the experiment conducted for finding out the susceptibility of the organism. So we had a hypothesis that this molecule is responsible for uh, responsible for uh, uh, responsible for inhibiting the growth of this organism. So we carry out this hypothesis. The latter part is generalization and interpretation, where based on the analysis of the result, test hypothesis, and all experimental finding, we generalize our result or interpret our result. Then we write report and we go for publication. Report writing, based on all these facts and figures, after conducting all these things, we write the report in the form of thesis, in the form of dissertation, in the form of research paper, research publication, research paper or research article. Then we go for publication of these documents for scientific intervention or scientific review or to the scientific community. So here I have discussed in this particular slide a brief idea about research methodology. Why do we conduct research? How do we conduct research? What are the different categories of research? And what are the steps in research? Thank you very much.